I think what we're seeing is a lot of, smart people that were, schooled here in Edmonton that have kind of gone out to other cities and really learned a lot from these other places and are now starting to kind of bring that back and start companies here. And that's really now impacting sort of all of the new prospective emerging entrepreneurs that are kind of coming up the pipe. For a good ecosystem, you really need to have the second, third, and fourth generation entrepreneurs kind of refeeding back into the system. And I think that that's what's really happening now, as opposed to 15 years ago. Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is that, 15 years from now, the world will be so connected, and 15 years ago, you didn't have things like people weren't as connected as they can be. So to be able to create a company from Edmonton, you had to physically leave and go do business somewhere else. Whereas now we have companies that are actually starting things and creating things from here, but they have customers all over the world. And I think 15 years from now, the technologies are only getting better. And really, Edmonton can be this home base of really, creative entrepreneurial people that are just making awesome stuff for the world from here. Yeah, I think that's the thing about Edmonton. It's this idea of not trying to be another big city or another big tech city, because everybody wants to do that. Edmonton is very much like an Austin, Texas, or Boulder, because it also has at its heart really good people, a really good cultural scene, really smart, universities, and all of those things that you need to kind of build these really the new generation of companies. And just we always say here in Edmonton, it's not about building big companies, but it's about building great ones. And that's and we think that can apply to the city as well. Can I honestly say that? No. No, it's actually really good. No, because when I got the email, I was just like, 10 years ago, I was just like, one day I'm going to get into the cover of Alberta Venture magazine for something. And that's why when I got the call, I was kind of, really, so this is kind of like a bucket list sort of thing. No, Alberta Venture has been, really sort of the voice of what's been happening in the business community, and in terms of like entrepreneurship and what people are doing. And it really shows, really highlights the stories of the people, not necessarily the companies, but really like, that Alberta's been outputting really great people from here and for the world. And, Alberta Venture has been, I think, a key role in terms of bringing that, making that more visible. I think one of the key things is also going to be the additional talent that's going to be needed as we grow companies. We live in a place where everybody is hiring from, whether it's retail, large corporations, and startups. From a startup perspective, what we're looking at is, will we have enough people, technical, programmers, all those knowledge-based workers that will be here to be that third, fourth, fifth key employee in a startup. So we're not trying to get everybody to start a new company, but we also need you to kind of like join these companies as well. And the challenge is that are we outputting enough of these types of people out of our schools? And that to me is the biggest challenge. Yeah, totally. I'm optimistic about Alberta because again, it's got all of these things kind of going for it as well. We have the resources, we have the experience, we have the large and small companies, and I think at its heart, there's this sort of entrepreneurial spirit that's always been here. And I've been to other cities where lots of stuff is happening and everybody wants to sort of like be everybody else. And I think it's just like, Alberta does it our way. And that's what the people are. And it's just like if we can now kind of use that energy to just continue to build great companies, whether it's tech or oil and gas or any of these sort of areas, I think will be good for the future.